Good morning. Come on, after such a wonderful night yesterday, good morning. Still not there. So, Lavanya, we have to do a better job in making people sing more. All right, let me add my very warm welcome to each and every one of you at the 12th edition of Zensar's GPW. We are absolutely delighted to have each and every one of you here today with us over today and tomorrow as well, as we talk about what fundamentally we do and where we see phenomenal synergies with each and every one of you here. And as we build the organization of future, which Ganesh talked about, such a fantastic performance over the last decade or so is probably just the beginning. I joined the organization, I joined the group actually less than 2 months ago, and I joined as the CEO MD less than 4 weeks ago. And this is how we do at Zensar. In 4 weeks, I'm in front of you talking about the strategy for the next 4 years. So get ready to talk about some of the shifting tides which we are seeing in the marketplace, and how does that actually impact us as an organization, our ability to invest into the future of technology, and quite frankly, how can we add fundamentally disruptive value to our relationship, right, as a transformation partner as we build this together. So we live in an incredibly interesting time where there are some giant strides, giant tsunamis impacting the volatilities of the marketplace that we are today. And there are many more than what's just listed out there. But just to give you a sense, economy is at best can be described as soft, patchy, unpredictable. Right? And you have two of the largest economies, the United States, that's where I live, is struggling to keep its nose around roughly 3% on a real-term growth. China, which has been the star for the last decade, is just barely hanging at about 7%. India, on the other hand, is doing extremely well, but that's the only part of the emerging economy which is growing at a faster pace, and all predictions are looking good. But overall, from a global economy perspective, it's very patchy, and that impacts the abilities of countries and economies and societies to invest. Take a look at, and that's actually playing quite into the protectionism, whether it is the work permit rule, the visa rule, the fiscal discipline, and even the current fiscal policies which were announced by the government. Many would argue here in India that it has a little bit of conservatism built in. It's not an aggressive growth policy. Same is the case in many of the other countries that we operate in. So that's impacting the volatility of the investment community, of the economy as a whole. In a recent survey which was conducted, the CXOs, many of you here in the room, said that 40% of the talent which you need in your own organizations, you can't find. Right? So here is an opportunity for each country and each economy to transform, but simply you don't have the people. And combine that with the protectionism, and the economic impetus, it's actually complicating the problem. Oil, we all know, in the last 18 months or so has dipped from about 120 to now 36, 37 or so. And again, it's impacting significantly, particularly those countries who are extremely dependent on oil. But even it's impacting the reserves, in many cases positively, and hence there is that level of volatility in the marketplace. But we also live in an immense areas of possibilities. And some of the big ones which are there, mobility, right? At the beginning of this decade, smartphones had, give or take, about 10% penetration. Right? We are just about at 30, 32%. Right? And as you exit this decade, it's expected to be 50%. So that little magical device, which is in your hand or in your pocket, has fundamentally transformed the lives of not just consumers, but has forced the businesses to take very serious attention and investment, and that's at the pivotal level of the digital strategy. Right? Sensors, the industrial internet, Ganesh talked about the Internet of Things, and we are investing, and I'll talk about a little bit more, but this has the impact to create 20% of the incremental global GDP between now and the next 10 years. That's the opportunity available, which is in and around sensors and the platforms and the softwares which are being built. Right? And we talked about digital literacy earlier, so that same magical device which exists with each and every one of us here and in the extended part of our community and society has the ability to bridge the inequality gap. Right? So through the digital literacy, and it's not just here in India, in many other parts of the world, if there is one tool which is available today, which has the power to transform lives, it is that magical device in the hands of the people. So that's the transformation potential available through the smart devices. Artificial intelligence, right? And just the way this decade began with smartphones and mobility and hence digital at the cusp, we firmly believe from where we see working with many of you, plus across the other several customers that we are talking to, that artificial intelligence is just going to get into mainstream as you go to the remainder half of this decade. And you shouldn't be surprised if the next GPW you come here and you find some nanobots and robots, roaming around here and welcoming you. That's the level of adoption we would expect in the AI level. It's not just going to be at the device, the business process. So next time when you're if you're an insurance company and your customers are calling for fairly standard routine transactions, companies are discussing putting robots out there to deal with those transactions, right? And the business process layer will get significantly impacted by AI. And that's where a lot of our own investment at Zensar is planned as we build the next generation of this company. So, what's the single biggest thing which is impacting our lives today as an organization, as an enterprise? Clearly, it is digital. So, in the future, in the next 5, 7, 10 years, whatever you see, if you are not aligned to digital as your single biggest investment area, you are clearly missing something, right? Digital today is the most relevant currency. It's not US dollar or euro or ZAR or yuan, no. Digital is the single most relevant currency in the enterprises today. It has the ability, and it's not about technology. Technology is probably an easier thing. It's about business model. It's about the potential impact which it can create. And you've seen companies which are native digital companies. Some of you are right here in this room. And some of our other customers that we work around the world, they have fundamentally changed and massively impacted the entire value chain of every single industry that they are in, whether it is a shared economy or the traditional large diversified manufacturing conglomerates. That's the impact of digital, and that's where we as an organization are spending a lot of our investment as we build the solutions of tomorrow to help us collaborate far more. So there are 3 aspects of digital we're going to talk about, right? Where we believe, and that's our point of view, that's our pretty strong point of view, that everybody's talking digital, so what are we doing? First is digital agility. So digital agility is the business. Across the segment that we operate today, whether it is insurance, financial services, retail, manufacturing, and you can do your own count, right? Every single business is impacted with the agility to come and launch new propositions, deliver that delightful customer experience, automate your business process. And Ganesh talked about, the original slide, that incremental investment right into your organizations are far more aligned to digital than they are to the traditional organization. So agility of business in every single industry that we see today is phenomenal. And the speed is only going to increase. Right? Our concept is that we have gone past the era of digital as just a statement and a few mobile apps. That's not what digital is about. It's fundamentally about return on digital. Digital is mainstream today. We are in the middle of this decade. Digital is clearly a mainstream. So where we are investing our time and energy and investment and building solutions is to make sure that when we work on digital with you, we are talking business outcomes. We are not just talking developing some few applications, changing some infrastructure layers. So, for example, for one of the manufacturing organizations, which traditionally has been in the business of delivering products, working with them how to convert that into a solutions organization, into a platform. And that's the investment. Sensors come in, software comes in, platform comes in, fundamentally changing the way they are going to market today. Right? That's the level. So that's what we say return on digital. Same is the case on delivering phenomenal customer experience for our retail customers. So there is a direct correlation, as you can see from here. Delightful customer experience has a direct correlation of significantly increased business and significantly increased customer loyalty, which eventually also pays into increasing business. Or in the case of insurance industry, right? Customizable premium. Why should the premium industry just follow the standard broken process of having the rows and columns in which you retrofitly put the customers there? Why can't customers have individualized premium? Because the processes are available, the technologies are available. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset. And we are absolutely delighted to be working with many of our insurance customers right here into that journey. That is return on digital. That's where our focus and investment is going to be. Now, we also believe that we have to, within our organization, look at the way we deliver projects and programs differently. Traditionally, you would start from the top end. So traditionally, you would start about saying, hey, okay, let's look at your custom applications. Let's look at your infrastructure layer. Let's look at business process. That's not the way we are going to do moving forward. So one of the massive shift we are investing in the company today, and I'm very, very happy to see that over the last several weeks that we have been working with our teams, is to reorient to put return on digital as the first starting point. Not custom applications, BPM layer or infrastructure layer. So it actually starts by creating delightful customer experience, personalized premium policies for our insurance customers, right? Converting a pure play manufacturing organization to be a platform and a solutions company. So that's what is changing the business model about, right? And then you take it to the SMAC level. Then you take it to the digital 4 layers, right? So also, many companies would still talk to you about SMAC as the entry point, not at Zensar. We would first focus with you about talking on what business outcome are you looking at, and then work on the SMAC layer, then work on modernizing a lot of crossover and backend systems, and finally reaching into the traditional way of the application stacks and the process stacks and the infrastructure stack. Right? So digital delivery is fundamentally aligned to the business outcome. That's a rapid shift which we are currently implementing with a few of you here. And as we build this forward, there will be significant momentum which we will pick up into transforming the way we are currently delivering value to you. We also believe that digital, again, is just not a few bunch of applications and just creating that unique experience. Sustainable, resilient digital enterprises of future will have to look within their existing enterprise organization as well. And that's true, by the way, also for native digital company. If you are a native digital company, I'm sure you are looking at building it to be a several billion-dollar global enterprise. And hence, the complexity of your business process will increase. We believe that there is an element called crossover, which is focused on multi-speed IT. The two-speed IT is gone. Two-speed IT is here and now. As you build the organization from here for the next 5 and 10 years, and that's where we are working with our clients, we believe you will get to 3-speed IT, 4-speed IT. And why? Because different parts of your business, different parts of your global customers will behave at different speeds. And IT as an organization, or marketing as a business function, or HR or finance as an organization need to adapt to that. So our focus and our point of view is that we really need to create this crossover organization and bake that into hybrid IT or cloud or experience level, but focus on the crossover as we speak with our customers today. We also think that the stability of the core system is going to be critical to deliver a resilient future enterprises of tomorrow. So that would mean the traditional back-end system. They are not going away anywhere soon. You saw that also on Ganesh's slide, that huge amount of money is there in Horizon 1 as what the industry calls it. We call it core system, because when we work with you, whether at Oracle or SAP or ATG or traditional custom applications in the banking and financial world, or even the core infrastructure layer. Right? We think that that needs to be made much more resilient. It needs to be made much more adaptable so that the digital enterprises of today and tomorrow can then be built. So we are working with many of you as managed service providers. So not just delivering it on a basis of statement of work, but build it as part of the business process. Right? That is also true across the landscape of the technology that we work with, whether on the infrastructure layer, BPM layer, custom applications, enterprise application. Right? How does that all come together? So a few examples which I thought I'll just call on to share with you on where we are working. And again, it is absolutely critical for us to focus that our pivotal discussion point is the business outcome. So it's about automation, it's about customer experience, it's about return on digital. Right? And many, many customers that we work with today, business outcome, process resilience, and standardization of the core backend system is where our big focus is. And we really want to thank many, many of you here who have allowed us to work with you to be the first partner to take this particular approach. So, summary, our view at Zensar in digital world that we live in, that the resilient, successful enterprises of the future will have to focus on all the three aspects: digital agility, crossover of IT and business processes, and fundamentally the stability of your core enterprise systems. Thank you very much.